Eternal greetings to every soul listening right now, rising through the weight of everything life has ever tried to bury you under, rising through storms you were never warned about, rising through the shadows that once tried to convince you that you were too small, too fragile, too breakable to ever matter. I welcome you with the kind of fire that cannot be taken away, the kind of fire that refuses to die, the kind of fire that becomes louder when silence tries to smother it. You arrived here for a reason, and that reason is bigger, heavier, and more powerful than any doubt that has ever whispered inside your mind. This is your reminder that what wakes up in you today can change everything, and the world knows it, even if you do not fully see it yet. You do not realize what you triggered, but they do, and it terrifies them, because the moment you stopped apologizing for your existence, something ancient inside you started to rise. The moment you stopped shrinking yourself to fit inside expectations that were never meant for you, something unshakable began to awaken. The moment you stopped waiting for permission to become who you were always meant to be, the world felt the shift long before you noticed the transformation, and that shift threatened every illusion that was built to keep you small, unseen, and quiet. They felt the weight of your awakening, even in its earliest sparks, and they knew instantly that nothing would be the same again. You triggered something wild, something honest, something unstoppable. And it was not loud at first, it was not dramatic at first, it began like a breath. You forgot. You could take a breath that reached deeper than fear, deeper than insecurity, deeper than the stories you were told about your worth. It began quietly but powerfully, like the slow turning of the earth, steady, relentless, inevitable. And while you may not have seen the change in your own reflection, the world around you saw it clearly. They felt the ground shift under your steps. They sensed the emergence of a strength you once believed you lacked, a strength carved from storms, from nights you cried alone, from moments you thought you were finished, from battles you fought without applause, without witnesses, without comfort. What you triggered was not destruction, it was revelation. You revealed the part of you they hoped you would never discover. You revealed the part of you that knows how to rise without permission, how to grow without guarantees, how to move forward, even when everything tries to hold you back. You revealed the part of you that carries an ancient quiet confidence, the kind that does not need to shout to be heard, the kind that does not need approval to act, the kind that does not need validation. To continue your awakening is not chaotic. It is controlled, sharpened, precise, and that is exactly why they fear it. Understand this truth. The moment you stopped doubting your strength, the moment you started questioning the limits placed on your life, the moment you began to see yourself not as a mistake, but as a force, the world reacted. People react when they realize they can no longer predict you. They react when they can no longer contain you. They react when they sense that the version of you they could manipulate is gone forever, and what replaces it is someone who listens to their own voice, someone who refuses to bow, someone who rises no matter how many times they were pushed down, someone who knows that their story is not over and never was. You triggered clarity within yourself, and clarity is powerful. Clarity is difficult to control. Clarity shines through every lie you once believed about your worth. Clarity exposes the illusions that made you think you needed to earn acceptance, earn love, earn belonging. Clarity is the beginning of rebirth. And once rebirth begins, there is no turning back. That process terrifies those who benefited from your confusion, those who liked you uncertain, those who preferred you doubting yourself, those who relied on your silence to feel superior, those who felt safer when you did not know who you were becoming, those who needed you small so they could feel significant. But now, you stand in the middle of your own becoming, and the world can feel the shift in your presence even when you say nothing, because your silence now carries weight. Your silence now carries truth. Your silence now carries self-respect. Your silence now carries resilience. Your silence now carries the quiet thunder of a person who refuses to fold again. They sense the storm inside you, but it is not a destructive storm. It is a cleansing one. It does not tear you down. It clears away what was holding you back. It does not burn your identity. It burns the illusions that tried to shape you into someone you were never meant to be. And they fear the strength that grows after survival. They fear the fire that forms after heartbreak. They fear the confidence born from healing. They fear the resilience carved from scars. They fear the wisdom learned from walking through darkness alone. They fear the softness that becomes unbreakable. They fear the quiet person who finally understands their own power, because once you understand your worth, no one can convince you to settle. Once you understand your voice, no one can mute it. Once you understand your purpose, no one can redirect it. Once you understand who you are, no one can distort it. You triggered the version of yourself that no longer bends for convenience, the version of yourself that no longer sacrifices growth to keep others comfortable, the version of yourself that no longer hides to make others feel tall, the version of yourself that no longer doubts their intuition, the version of yourself that no longer runs from truth, the version of yourself that no longer apologizes for being alive. You triggered the version of yourself that finally chooses self-respect over approval, self-belief over fear, self-worth over hesitation. And that version of you is a force they are not prepared to face. You may not see it yet, but they see it clearly. The way you rise differently, the way you speak differently, the way you hold yourself differently, the way you refuse to bend, the way you refuse to be manipulated, the way you refuse to chase what is not meant for you, the way you walk with a strength that was earned, not given. They see the glow in your eyes that was not there before, the glow that comes from surviving the impossible, the glow that comes from walking through pain with integrity, the glow that comes from choosing to heal instead of staying broken, the glow that comes from no longer waiting for someone to save you, the glow that comes from finally choosing yourself. And here is the truth. They do not want you to know. Their fear is not about you hurting them. Their fear is about you outgrowing them, outgrowing the limits they placed on you, outgrowing the expectations they used to control you, outgrowing the roles they tried to assign you, outgrowing the moments they defined you by your lowest points. They fear that your growth will reveal their insecurities. They fear that your strength will expose their weakness. They fear that your transformation will make them confront the truth about themselves, the truth they spent years ignoring. You triggered a future that is no longer shaped by fear, but by intention, by purpose, by authenticity, by courage. And that kind of future is unstoppable. Once awakened, it does not shrink. It does not retreat. It does not apologize. It expands, it moves, it evolves, it rises, and as it rises, it pulls you forward into the person you were always meant to become, a person who honors their own strength, a person who stands tall even when trembling, a person who speaks truth even when afraid, a person who chooses growth even when uncomfortable, a person who keeps moving even when the path is unclear. Every step you take now is a declaration of your arrival. Every step is a reminder that you are not who you used to be. Every step is proof that the world cannot define you by your past. Every step is evidence that you are becoming something extraordinary, something undeniable, something unrepeatable, something powerful. This is what they fear. not your anger, not your revenge, not your reaction. They fear your awakening. They fear your clarity. They fear your unshakable direction. They fear your refusal to be controlled. They fear your ability to rise without their approval. They fear that you have finally realized that you never needed them to validate your worth. Your presence now sends a message that echoes louder than your words ever could. A message that says, I am not here to shrink. I am not here to be small. I am not here to be controlled. I am not here to carry expectations that were never mine. I am not here to repeat cycles that do not serve me. I am not here to dim myself to fit inside someone else's comfort. I am here to rise, and no force on earth can silence that rise anymore. Because once your soul remembers who it is, nothing can make it forget. So keep rising, keep becoming, keep surprising the world with your evolution. Keep stepping into the strength that has been waiting for you. Keep speaking with the voice that was hidden beneath years of doubt. Keep listening to the truth that only you can hear. Keep trusting the intuition that has never abandoned you. Keep honoring the self-respect that is now rooted within you. Keep walking toward the future that felt impossible before you triggered the moment of awakening. And do not stop, because the moment you stop shrinking, the world starts rearranging itself around your new presence. The moment you stop doubting your worth, the universe begins to open paths you once thought were locked. The moment you stop hiding, the people meant for your future begin to recognize you instantly. They fear you now because you cannot be manipulated. They fear you now because you cannot be controlled. They fear you now because you cannot be diminished. They fear you now because you cannot be broken by the same things that once shattered you. They fear you now because you know who you are and who you are becoming. And once a person knows themselves, truly knows themselves, they become unstoppable and unpredictable and unshakable. You triggered something extraordinary, something that will keep unfolding with every step you take, something that promises evolution, growth, transformation, and power. And while you may not see the entire picture yet, trust that this awakening is the beginning of the strongest era of your life. The era where you no longer chase, but attract the era. Where you no longer beg, but choose the era. Where you no longer break, but rebuild the era. Where you no longer fear, but stand firm. The era where you no longer question your worth, but live from it fully. This is your rise, and they see it even if you do not. They feel it even if you doubt it. They fear it because they know you are finally stepping into your own destiny. They fear it because they know they cannot stop it. They fear it because they know your awakening will change everything. And you may not realize what you triggered, but they do. And it terrifies them. They thought your silence was weakness, but now they understand it was preparation. Your quiet moments were never empty. Your stillness was never surrender. Those were the hours where your mind rebuilt itself piece by piece. Those were the hours where your spirit gathered strength without needing to prove anything to anyone. Those were the hours where your future began forming in the dark, long before anyone could see it, including you. Your silence was the moment the seed cracked beneath the soil. Unseen, unheard, but inevitable. And now that you have risen from that soil, nothing can bury you again. You do not realize what you triggered because you have not fully stepped into the version of yourself that is coming. You are standing at the doorway of a new life, one built from truth instead of fear, one built from courage instead of hesitation, one built from intention instead of survival. And as that door opens wider, the world around you begins to shift. The people who underestimated you feel the difference. First, they sense the change in your energy. They sense the new steadiness in your steps. They sense the awakening in your presence, and they do not know how to respond because for the first time, They are witnessing a you that does not bend, a you that does not break, a you that does not retreat. They see you standing taller, even when you say nothing. They see you protecting your peace without apology. They see you choosing your path instead of following theirs. They see you creating distance where once you allowed chaos. They see you walking away from cycles that once consumed you. They see you outgrowing the very spaces you used to shrink inside. And that transformation reveals a truth they never expected you to discover. You were never the weak one. You were never the fragile one. You were never the easy one. Your heart was powerful. Your faith was powerful. Your resilience was powerful. And now that power is showing, without filters, without hesitation, without permission. Your growth becomes a mirror, and mirrors make people uncomfortable because they reveal what is real, not what is convenient. Your evolution forces others to see where they stopped, evolving your confidence, exposes where they still cling to insecurity. Your clarity uncovers where they rely on confusion. Your strength highlights where they collapsed. Your courage brings light to the places they refuse to confront, and that reflection is terrifying to those who built their identity on your uncertainty. Understand this clearly. Their fear is not your responsibility. Their fear is not a warning. Their fear is not a sign for you to shrink. Again, their fear is simply proof that you have entered a new stage of your own becoming. And in this stage you are untouchable, not because you are perfect, but because you are aligned with your truth, aligned with your purpose, aligned with the strength you earned, aligned with the clarity that came from surviving everything they never saw, aligned with the future that is calling your name with force. You triggered the moment where you finally stopped negotiating your worth, where you finally stopped watering dead connections, where you finally stop trying to save people who choose their own limitations, where you finally stop carrying burdens that were never yours, where you finally stop fighting battles that drain your soul, where you finally stop shrinking for spaces that were too small for you from the beginning. And when a person reaches this moment, the world around them reacts, because this version of you cannot be controlled. This version of you cannot be predicted. This version of you cannot be misled. Your rise becomes a declaration that you are no longer available for anything that dims your spirit. You are no longer available for anything that dishonors your journey. You are no longer available for anything that asks you to betray yourself. And that decision carries a silent power that echoes through every part of your life. Once you choose yourself fully, the world has no choice but to adjust, and that adjustment is what terrifies them. You are stepping into the kind of energy that does not chase. It attracts the kind of energy that does not cling. It releases the kind of energy that does not beg. It chooses the kind of energy that does not break it, bends and grows the kind of energy that does not fear endings because it knows endings create space for beginnings. You are stepping into the kind of power that cannot be taken because it was never given. It was awakened through pain, awakened through loss, awakened through disappointment, awakened through every moment you thought you were not enough until you discovered that you always were. And they feel this awakening like a shift in the air. They feel the intensity of your presence, even when you walk softly. They feel the steadiness of your spirit, even when you are quiet. They feel the depth of your intention, even when you say nothing, because true strength is felt, not announced. True power is lived, not displayed. True transformation is sensed, not explained. And everything about you now speaks in a language they cannot ignore. You may still feel unsure at times. You may still feel afraid. You may still feel like you are figuring yourself out. But do not mistake that feeling for weakness. You are in a stage of becoming, and becoming is messy. Becoming is uncertain. Becoming feels like standing between who you were and who you are destined to be. But even in this in-between space, your energy is stronger than it has ever been, because you are no longer moving from fear. You are moving from awareness, and that shift is everything. They fear you because you are no longer available for the version of life that kept you stagnant. You are no longer attracted to chaos. You are no longer controlled by guilt. You are no longer pulled into battles designed to distract you. You are no longer influenced by opinions built on insecurity. You are no longer shaped by expectations that never reflected who you truly are. And when a person reaches this level, they become unmistakable. They become unforgettable. They become unstoppable. You triggered the rise of a version of yourself that will build a future from intention instead of survival. This version will speak truth. Even when shaking, this version will walk away from what hurts, even when attached. This version will believe in themselves, even when others doubt. This version will hold boundaries that protect their spirit. This version will see opportunity where others see endings. This version will keep moving forward, even when the path is uncertain, because you finally understand that uncertainty is not a threat. Uncertainty is a doorway. You triggered the moment your life begins shifting in your favor, not because luck arrived, but because alignment arrived. You are aligning with strength you forgot you had. You are aligning with wisdom earned through experience. You are aligning with the fire that never left you. You are aligning with the deepest parts of who you truly are. And as you align, everything that does not match that frequency falls away naturally, without force, without drama, without conflict, because what is not meant for you cannot stay, and what is meant for you cannot be taken. They fear your awakening because awakened people become impossible to manipulate. Awakened people become impossible to diminish. Awakened people become impossible to control. But most importantly, awakened people become fully themselves. And there is nothing more powerful on this earth than a person who finally knows who they are and refuses to return to the version of themselves created from fear, rejection, or doubt. So step forward now, not timidly but boldly. Step forward with the awareness that you have survived every ending. Step forward with the understanding that you were shaped by storms, not broken by them. Step forward with the truth that you carry resilience in your bones and determination in your heartbeat. Step forward knowing that everything ahead of you requires the version of you that has finally awakened. Step forward, because the world is already reacting to your rise even before you realize how high you are about to climb. You do not realize what you triggered, but you will. Soon, you will feel it in your decisions. You will feel it in your confidence. You will feel it in your boundary. You will feel it in your peace. You will feel it in the way you no longer bend to fit into places you have outgrown. You will feel it in the way your energy no longer allows people to drain you. You will feel it in the way your soul refuses to stay where it was, once stuck. You will feel it in the way life begins shifting, moving, rearranging itself around your new strength. They are terrified because they see the rise before you fully recognize it. They see the power before you fully wield it. They see the transformation before you fully understand it.